Hi, everybody. I've been gone for a while because my 3D job was trying to work me to death, but I'm back with a message for you, and I'm hoping that you're sharing my videos and subscribing to my channel because I have a lot of messages for you. So, today, finally, at long last, we are going to go down the rabbit hole. This is what happens to all of us, because of our history. So, going down the rabbit hole is when we become under the influence of evil. And when I mean evil, I don't necessarily mean the devil. I mean, we go through our life at this point in time and we meet some very bad people, people that influence us in a bad way. And so we meet them, we become friends with them, and they take us in the totally wrong direction. Okay. And also, we are very vulnerable at this stage uh, because of our betrayals. So we meet these people, we think they're our friends, but they're not. And in time, we will see this, but sometimes it takes a long time for us to see this. Also, at this point in time, sometimes some of us, alcohol, drugs, um, even sexual excess, whatever, any kind of sins against yourself, against your body, your temple, um, we start doing these things, okay, which really can, for some of us, lead to our demise. But for some of us, we will survive this and come out the other side. But not necessarily come out the other side uh, to the land of plenty, but come out the other side wiser than we were when we went in. So we go down the rabbit hole, and all these negative influences hit us all at the same time. And we hold on to them because we think that they're our salvation. These people are our best friends. These people, we think they have our good at heart. And them having us drink or do drugs or sexual excess, whatever it is that's on their agenda toward us, is we fall victim to, because that's who we are, victims. And we go around with them, and we go through this horrible phase of our life where we thought things couldn't get worse, but they do, because we can't yet see ourselves in the positive light. We don't have our positivity yet. We haven't sat down and stopped running. We keep on running towards worse and worse things. So we meet these people, they drag us down literally to the depths of hell. At least in my case, that's how it went. Um, and we think they're our best friends. Like for years, we think they're our best friends, and we follow them. Now they do teach us things on this journey, because one of the things that I was taught on my journey was um, I was very shy. I didn't know how to speak up for myself because as a child, I was always told to shut up and sit down, and or go in my room and be alone. I was excommunicated from my family. So they taught us how to speak up. That was their lesson. Okay. So speaking up about ourselves and who we truly are, our true, authentic self, we learn from them not to hide from the world anymore. They do teach us this. It's a very important lesson, but it comes with a heavy price tag. And I mean heavy. Okay, so we're going to um, follow them along merrily on this path of destruction. And we think that we are blessed. We think are blessed when we're not. We're really cursed to have these people in our life, with the exception of this lesson that they're going to teach us about how to stand up for ourselves, how to speak out instead of being silent and let everything happen to us. We're going to learn to speak out. We're going to learn to come into ourselves through going through the mud, basically. So we go through the mud with them, and we think that they're our friends, and drinking or drugs or sex or whatever they present to us. Uh, I know that the girl that I was friends with was very sexually active. I was not, but I was very, very shy, and I did not know how to speak my own truth. Um, but I learned the hard way. So, what I want to tell you here is this is part of Divine's plan. Um, we go through the go through because we have to grow in ourselves, and we have to learn who we are. And these people, even though they are not who we want to be, they're going to help show us who we want to be by being the opposite of us. And so we take their friendship, we take what we think is their love and concern, and things go badly. I know I had a very good job at this time, a very prestigious job at this time, and eventually I lost that job. I became very ill, and all under the influence of this one particular person, who comes back into my life later on to cause more destruction. And I think I'm helping her, which I'm not. She's trying to destroy me, which she came pretty close. So I want you to know this. Us going through this is not a weakness of ours. It is part of Divine's plan to build us up and show us who we are supposed to be. And it may take you years to learn who you're supposed to be, because more people are going to come in your life and teach you who you're supposed to be. Not just one or two people. There's a lot of people that are coming through your life. And us learning about the bad, the iniquities of the world, um, trusting people we shouldn't trust, believing in people we shouldn't believe, when we should believe only in Divine and his path for us in this world, which is very hard to discern because we're like blindfolded to the truth. We can't seem to see our way. We can't even find our path. We don't even know where it is. We lost our path. We lost our path when we were betrayed, and we became lost, like in the wilderness, kind of. We're like Moses for 40 years walking in the desert. So anyway, we go through this time of our life, and I came out on the other side of it and was taken out of their presence by sickness, which I think was Divine's way of saying you've had enough. Okay. So I'm sick. I have horrible migraines at this time, and I have to stop working. So I have to leave Miami, my beloved city, and I have to go and live with my mother and father. With my child, I have a child. He's 3 at this point in time, and so and he's with me. I have him with me. He's not with my mother, but we're going back. We're going to live in Hickory, North Carolina, and I'm going to stay in my mom and dad's apartment because I am so ill with migraines. I can't even function as a human being. I'm literally laid flat. And then I'm making things. I have like the spirit of creativity upon me, and I'm making things. I'm doing embroidery and cross stitch and macrame, and I'm sewing, and I'm making all kinds of things because that's something that I loved. I had always loved it. And then so I'm laying there. I'm literally sometimes even like laying on the floor. I'm so sick, I just can't. I don't know if any of you've ever had horrible migraines like I did, but I've had them for like 40 years. And so when we're in Hickory, and my mom finds this doctor who treats migraines, and he found this medication, which I still take to this day when I have migraines. And I can function on this medicine. It doesn't lay me out. So there I am. I'm not searching. I've given up. I'm sick. I can't. I just can't. And I have my child with me, and my mom and dad are there. And my mom does do this thing for me. She does find this doctor who helps me. But and I get this medicine, and out of the blue, because I'm relocated, I'm in Hickory, like I don't even, no one knows where I am. Um, and at this time, my my first husband is in jail for what? Attempted distribution of a narcotic, which he wasn't doing. He just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And because I had warned him before I left for Hickory to stay away from this specific person and this specific location, uh, but he didn't listen to me. So he gets arrested, and his mother, who's like my enemy, she calls me. I don't. She calls me, or she calls my parents, and tells me that I have to come down to Miami and help him. He has $250,000 bail on him. And my father says, don't go. But we all know me. I'm going to go because it's my job to help people when they're in need. And so I go down there, go through the court case with him, and he's exonerated, and they let him go, but they say that he can't ever live there again. Actually, Janet Reno was the judge, so how ironic is that? But anyway, so we go, and he gets exonerated. So I go back to Hickory, and out of the blue, this lady that I used to work with, her name is Frances. I worked with her in my first accounting job. She calls me. I don't even know how she found me. Still to this day, I don't even think she's living anymore. But she finds me, and she tells me, "We need you to come back to Winston-Salem. I'm working for this new company, and they need you to help move everything onto their mainframe, and we're going to pay you." Well, I explained to her that I'm ill, and I don't think that there's any way that I could work, that I could do this kind of job. And she tells me, "You can do this." She says, "What we'll do is um, at lunch, we'll lock the door of the accounting department, and you can lay on the floor and rest. Or if you have a ride, because when I have migraines, I couldn't drive. Um, you can go home and sleep and then come back." So I take the job, and I do my job over there, and I'm back in Winston-Salem again. And so I'm there working for this company, and Frances, she's like a guardian angel of mine. Um, she makes sure that I get to rest at least for an hour a day before I have to get back up. And I'm moving all of their files to their mainframe, and I'm also processing their payroll. And when it snows, I can't drive in the snow. Okay, I'm terrified of driving in the snow. I was in a horrible accident, and they would come and pick me up in their 4x4s. so that I could go, especially on a Friday, to process their payroll. And they were very good to me, these people. I worked for them, I don't know how long, for a year or so, until they got everything straightened out. And then I went on to different things. But you see how God was so good to me, because He picked me up out of the middle of destruction. And He did that by making me ill. And in that illness, I had redemption. I found they called me to this job. I made good money. I was really, respected, and they were just really good to me, things that I wasn't used to, these people. They were good to me, and I was blessed by God. That's how I can tell you. I don't even know how the lady found me. God had to have found me for her, because she had no way of knowing where I was. And this is back in the time before cell phones or the internet. So it wasn't like you could just track somebody down. You couldn't. Um, I don't know how she did it, and but she did, and I did that for them, and they did a lot of things for me, and it gave me hope. It gave me hope that I could have a life again, and that I was going to go on to do better things, and better things I did indeed. Now, a lot of people try to stop me on my way, and we're going to talk about that in other videos. Hopefully, it won't be such long stretches, because I have cut down to part-time in my 3D job so that I could do more of this with y'all, because this is my calling. This is what I feel God wants me to do, is spread this message of awareness and of help and love to my victims of abuse. And it's really my passion. Um, I want to do this for y'all. I want to tell my story for myself. I was writing a book, but I found it very difficult to go back in my past and write about it. So, um, what I want to tell you is never give up. Uh, you'll get blessings at the most unexpected times. And even though there's a lot of things coming that are not blessings, there's going to be a blessing in everything you do. That's one of the things that we have to learn. We have to take what's bad in our life and turn it into what's good. And that's our gift from God, is to learn how to transmute negative energy into positive energy. And we can all do this. We have a mission on earth, and we're going to talk about that later. That our mission of why we're going through all these things, and how people are going to help us along the way, and how people are going to knock us down along the way. But we're going to keep getting up, and we're going to keep learning, and we're going to keep moving forward, because we have a mission. God has a mission for us to do on this planet. And we were brought here specifically to do this mission. And we're going to go through all these horrible times as lessons, so that we can teach other people, like I'm trying to share with you. We're going to teach them, we're going to help them out of their difficulties by our lives, by what we've been through and what we've learned. So don't think that you're just a victim for being a victim. You're not. You're learning lessons that you're going to be able to share, and you're going to be able to help other people. You're going to be able to, like, people are going to see you as their light. They're going to help, you're going to help them find their way, the way that you were forced to find your way. And some of you are still working through your way. Okay, so I know not everybody is as old as I am. So some of you still young, some of you still finding your way, some of you don't know your path yet. But you're going to find your path. I guarantee you that. Your path is ahead of you. You just can't see it yet. but you will. And you're going to find the strength to walk down that path, whether you're alone, because I walk down my path alone always, uh, with God as my guide. Um, and He's the one who wanted me to come on here and share my truth with you all. So, we're going to learn about how we're going to transmute negative energy. And we're going to keep on with these videos. And I'm really hoping that you're sharing them with other people that can use this knowledge, can use this truth so that they can transmute themselves. I talk to a lot of you all in private DMs. I talk to you personally, and there's a lot of people that I try and help guide. Some people you try and help, they end up hurting you. And that's a lesson too, because you can't give all your energy away. You have to have your energy for yourself, for your own good. For you can't do your work on your path if you gave somebody else all your energy. And I've done that so many times. I have given all my energy to people, and I had nothing for myself. So we have to learn what we can give and what we have to keep for ourselves, because being ourselves is important. There's people that depend on us to be ourselves because they need us, and we're going to learn how to give a certain amount of energy away and to keep the rest of it for ourselves. Don't give everybody your everything. You can't, because they're going to take advantage of that. And it's happened to me so many times. Um, they take advantage of you because they think you're weak, but you're not weak. You're just open. You're a giver. And they see that because they're an opportunist. They see it as your weakness and they want to exploit it. And they do, to the point where you finally put your foot down and say, that's enough. I've had enough of you. You're not grateful for anything that God has given you. You're not grateful for the blessing in your life. You're not grateful for that. I could name off names over here, okay? You're not grateful for anything that was given you. You aren't grateful for the grace of God being shown in your life, for the blessing that was being given you. So, um, I want you people to know, I don't want you to despair. You may be in a situation where you're very unhappy, where you're worried, you're concerned, what am my child or my children, how am I going to teach them to be upright when here I am laying down on the floor? Um, don't you worry about that, because Divine has you, and Divine is going to help you. He's going to teach you through other people like me. He's going to teach you how to be a better you. And don't ever, ever think that God has abandoned you, because God never abandons you. He might have some really tough lessons for you to learn, but He will never abandon you. Okay? You're the one who abandons you. You're the one that gives up on yourself. You're the one that settles for being abused. To be honest with you, I know I did it for a long time until I put my foot down and I was like, no more. Okay. And then my second husband finally passed away, and I'm like, I'm free. Let's not hope that on everybody, but he was 20 years older than me, so it was his time. But he died railing against God. He died railing against me. He said some horrible things to me right before he died. And we'll talk about that too. But for now, what we're talking about is what you need to do. Stay in your positivity, even in the worst times in your life. Learn your lessons. Look at people. You know how people say use your third eye, which I never really understood, but that you have an innate sense that you know you're in the wrong place doing the wrong thing, but you're not really sure how to do the right thing or how to get to the right thing. And that's because you have to ask for help. You have to for divine guidance, and you have to ask people for help, friends, people you can trust, not those low vibrational people that are dragging you through the mud. Don't ask them for shit, because that's all they're going to give you is shit. Okay, because they're not enlightened, they're not following their path, so they can't give you anything because they don't have anything to give. So don't despair. Please don't despair. I know I spent a lot of time despairing until I got up one day and said, I'm done. Really, just done. And you're going to do that too. I guarantee you, you're going to do that. And God is going to bless you when you do that. God is going to bring in abundance when you do that, when you start to stand up for yourself, or you have to run from that person, because that's what I had to do in the end. I had to run from the person because they were trying to kill me, to be honest with you. And so don't stop believing in God, and don't stop believing in God's going to bless you, because He is. And you have to mind your thoughts. You can't let that negativity weigh you down. Your thoughts that are negative, you can't listen to those. Every time you think a negative thought, you have to go, I'm sorry, God, that was negativity. Please remove that from my mind. And I do it on a daily basis, still to this day, because sometimes I have a lot of negative thoughts that come in my head, uh, from other people. And I have to say no. And then I say, God, I am so sorry I thought like that. I didn't mean to think like that. What was it? Just please forgive me for having that thought. And I do it a lot, a lot. Um, I have a lot of blessings in my life. I have a lot of people that see my true, authentic self, and they love me for who I am. They know who I am. Like, I don't even have to explain to them who I am. They already know. Okay. Um, so be positive, believe that God is guiding you, learn your lessons, stop making the same mistakes over and over. Stop with your victim mentality and tell God, I want better for myself. Like, talk to Him out loud and say, this is what I want, this is what I need. Can you please guide me towards these things? And it better not be money, okay? Because God gives you abundance when you do right, okay? I can't tell you how many times I've gotten money in the mail for no apparent reason, because I was doing the right thing. And I didn't even realize I was doing the right thing. I was just being me, okay? So be you, do you, know when you're not supposed to be somewhere and get out from there. I don't care what it takes you. I've lived in my car so many times. It's not even funny. I've never been living on the street like some people do, because a lot of people that live on the street actually have mental illnesses. Um, and they just can't. Uh, they don't have it in them to search for God and to ask for help. And people try to help them, but sometimes there is no helping some of those people. And I know people that's their platform. Homeless people, that's their platform. Like, that's what God wants them to work on. The homeless people. That's not my platform. My platform is teaching people how to not be a victim, how to ask God for help, ask God for what you need, speak to Him out loud. He's listening to you. You don't have to talk to Him in your mind. I mean, sometimes I do because I'm at work or something. I can't be yelling stuff out to God, when I'm working. And I'll talk to Him in my mind. But when I'm home and I'm alone, which I am alone a lot, um, I talk to Him one on one, like He's sitting right next to me. We're having a conversation. And I say, you know, I pray for a lot of people, people that I know that are struggling, people that are doing wrong. And sometimes they don't even know they're doing wrong, but they're just absolutely doing wrong. Sometimes they're under the influence of people that have don't have their you know, good intentions for them. And yeah, because if you ever hear me talk about black magic, when people do black magic on you, black magic comes in a lot of forms. I'm not always talking about going to an occultist and having somebody do a spell on you. Black magic can be lies, manipulation, deception, uh, narcissists that like to manipulate you. Uh, Everybody knows lying. Okay, lying is black magic. Who is the father of lies? The devil is. So when you lie, you are actually performing black magic, whether you realize it or not. And you have to stop with the negativity. You have to stop lying and tell your truth. I don't care how you think things are going to come out, because the truth never leads to something bad. The truth always leads to better. So believe in yourself, believe in divine, speak your truth. Don't lie, don't manipulate, um, don't be greedy. That's another thing. It's greed. Greed is from the devil. Don't be greedy. God will give you your abundance when you need it. He will. You have to believe in that. You have to believe that you are worthy. Okay? We were never taught worthiness. We have to teach ourselves. God is going to help us teach ourselves that we are worthy. Okay? So I'm going to leave you here because I have a lot of things to do. I only have this one day off for right now. And I have a bunch of things to do. But I wanted to get my little message out before I started doing things so that I know I had this done for the day. And I'm going to try to come back in a couple days, maybe Thursday. Today's Tuesday. So maybe Thursday, and give you another message. Um, but anyways, I wanted to leave you with those thoughts. I wanted to leave you with that knowing that there are things that you need to do, and you need to do them now. Okay? So, victims no more, signing out. Light, love, and peace.